Hello everyone, it has been a long while since I have made a video. I have been busy with other things in life, which has stopped me from making more content. I also felt I have made so much content and progress so quickly that I decided it was best I had to take a break. I apologize for the short notice, however I am back and we will be putting out better content. By the way, I have actually completed my rogue since the last time I have made a video, but I did not record a lot of footage for my progress. I will show it in a later video, as I would like to start working on the next class. Based on an older poll I have posted, the mage seems to be a popular choice, and so I will go with the mage. I know there is quite a few changes made since I have last played, so bear with me as I learn about these new changes to the mage class. This video will be older footage that was not released yet, where I continue to hunt dungeons and find the rest of the legendary equipment. I have 90% of the equipment I want in my gear set complete at the time of this recording, with Shadowstalker done and Soul Thief 75% there. I hope you guys enjoy this one. We will complete dungeons again in hopes to achieve the highest rank across the missions when I return with my current, updated, strongest rogue saber. As you can see, I am quite proud of this accomplishment. Also, some mounts I received as gifts for my playlist and completing the Dread dungeons. Realizing the different elements of the mobs in the dungeons have helped me cultivate my skill set and ability to play at the higher level. The little spawn ability from the mage mobs are quite obstructing, yet they are a great source of red potions. Certain skills I find I will use the most, such as the infamous triple strike base primary skill. It is just very damage dealing with 3 strikes and a high critical chance on its own. Also giving a little mini buff defense for 3 seconds helps mitigate any damage done to Saber. How do you guys feel about redoing dungeons? Do you think the amount of dungeons in the game is enough, or will it be becoming boring without any new additions? Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I think there are a couple reasons as to why one might feel it may be becoming boring. One, when you played back in the day, your mindset probably was blown away by the amount of missions. Now, you know how much, and so you are not brain-wired to be surprised, but expected, so it does not feel like a lot of dungeons, as you know the zones and the amount of dungeons across each zone approximately. 2, if you play all the dungeons quickly or make a playlist quickly like myself, you can burn out the experience so it won't feel the same. By playing gradually and taking your time, it will not burn you out as much or as quickly, so you will not feel the game fatigue as fast. It does not mean you won't get bored or lose interest, but it will give you more time before that happens. Anyway, I think the developers will look at that issue and hopefully come to find a way to resolve this by adding new dungeons if possible, or making an alternative by adding in interesting events or mini-quests. I can tell you from what I have heard, a non-stop dungeon mode where you keep fighting until you are defeated is a planned thought, but I have no idea if that will be a reality for the Dungeon Blitz R. I forgot some of the dungeons are broken here. The developers have fixed a lot of these issues now, as they are quickly working patching up the rest of these problems before the grand multiplayer and full release of the game. I look forward to playing it because all your data will be saved like the original one, and so you can play with others as you progress. The Bandits, oh the Bandits. The very first dungeons that I have done in this series come back to Dread Fellbridge Bandit Camp and Swag's Last Stand. Shout out to the viewers who watched the first Dread video. Also be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so I can make more and better videos. I guess I was pretty frustrated with the dungeons ending suddenly because I was probably trying to rank the dungeons, but whatever. I will get back to this in the latest version of single-player mode. Going to Dread Castle Hop for some gear grinding will be interesting. I have pretty much completed this zone, including ranking the dungeons, so I am content with trying to get all the gear to legendary here. I find the golden lizards to be more interesting mobs than the black rose Maya counterparts. Let me know what you guys think. I just am basing it off their attack and personality looks. Maybe that is also just being plain uncomfortable. Oh look, new gear. I have gotten the capstone kickers, which is a gear finding shadow stalker equipment. Yay. You know what, guys? I just realized something. I am close to halfway maxing out the EXP bar of level 50. I mean, look at it. Isn't that fascinating? I wonder what it will be once I return. Oh wait, I can't spoil it. Make sure to tune in for the next video where you can see how far it went. Life can be more fitting if we just all focused on the right things. What is considered right, though? I know this is off topic, but I think this is a great discussion to have. It is not off topic at all. In fact, it is one of the most fascinating philosophical intersections you can explore. The question of what is the right thing to focus on is something humanity has been trying to solve for millennia, and it turns out dungeon crawlers are a perfect, simplified microcosm of that exact existential struggle. In the real world, life is overwhelming because it's a sandbox with no clear UI. We don't have a floating quest marker telling us our exact purpose, and we don't get an on-screen notification confirming we made the right choice. But in a dungeon crawler, the right thing is beautifully, clearly defined. Here is how the search for meaning in life mirrors the mechanics of a deep dungeon run. 1. The myth of the one true build, defining your value system. In life, people often argue about what the right path is. Is it accumulating wealth? Is it building a family? Is it seeking knowledge? We look at other people and feel insecure, thinking, am I playing this wrong? Dungeon crawlers handle this through the talent tree. There is no single, correct way to allocate your points. A player who puts everything into strength to break through shields is playing correctly. A player who builds a high-mobility dexterity scout to dodge hazards is also playing correctly. The only true wrong choice is refusing to invest your points at all, or trying to do absolutely everything at once, and ending up with a broken, unfocused build that can't survive anywhere. In life, focusing on the right things means picking a build, defining your core values, and committing to it rather than trying to satisfy everyone else's meta. 2. Sifting gold from garbage, overcoming the noise. We live in an era of absolute information overload. We are bombarded with notifications, societal expectations, and endless micro-distractions. Life can feel heavy because we are carrying too much inventory that doesn't actually matter to our main quest. Dungeon games teach us the art of inventory management. When you start a game, you pick up every piece of rusty scrap metal and broken sword you find. Your bags get full, you get encumbered, and you slow down. As you get closer to the late game, whether you're preparing for a brutal dread mode run or descending into an Emperor's Tyrant Citadel, you become ruthless. You start ignoring the white and green common trash. You only look for the legendary loot that actually synergizes with your build. The right thing in life is exactly that. Learning to look at the daily noise, recognizing it as low-tier filler loot, and intentionally leaving it on the ground so your inventory stays light are the real challenges. 3. The grace of the difficulty spike, embracing the grind. When life gets incredibly hard, it's easy to feel like you've failed or done something wrong. You lose a job, a relationship ends, or your health takes a hit, and it feels like a devastating setback. But in a dungeon game, when you step into a new zone and suddenly get absolutely obliterated by a swarm of burrowing desert scorpions or hyper-aggressive ghost soldiers, you don't think, wow, I'm a terrible person. You think, the area difficulty just scaled up. I need to adapt. Dungeon games frame adversity as a natural mechanism of growth. They tell you that hitting a wall isn't a sign to quit. It's a prompt to take a tactical retreat, redo a few familiar floors, farm your gold, upgrade your gear, and return stronger. If we looked at real-life hardships through that same lens, as a structural difficulty spike requiring a temporary grind rather than a permanent personal failure, life would feel a lot more manageable. Focusing on the right things in life is exactly like managing a high-tier endgame character. Let's look at a few more design principles from dungeon crawlers that map perfectly onto our everyday existential grind. 4. Avoiding the jack-of-all-trades trap at the cost of dilution. You are lower level, it's tempting to put 1 point into every single skill in the talent tree just to see what they do. You want to be a warrior who can also cast fireballs, heal themselves, and pick locks. But as the game transitions into the brutal scaling of Dread mode, that build falls completely apart. You become mediocre at everything and masterful at nothing. Real-life parallel, society tells us we need to do it all. We are expected to climb a corporate ladder, maintain a flawless social life, master 3 different hobbies, stay in peak physical condition, and keep up with every piece of pop culture. We dilute our energy across a massive, flat talent tree. Dungeon solution. To survive a high-tier gauntlet, you have to specialize. You accept that to be an absolute powerhouse who breaks through Imperial armor thresholds, you might have to sacrifice your magical mana pools in time. In life, focusing on the right things means having the courage to say, I'm going to let myself be bad or indifferent to certain things so that I can be legendary at the things that actually matter to my main quest. 5. Dismantling the forever grind, defining your own endgame. A major psychological trap in dungeon games is getting addicted to the grind for its own sake. You spend hours redoing the same sewage pipeline or desert crypt to farm millions of gold pieces, hoarding resources you will never actually spend, completely forgetting that the entire point of upgrading your loot was to go breach the Emperor's throne room. Real-life parallel, this is the definition of modern burnout. People grind 80 hours a week to acquire numbers in a bank account or titles on a resume, treating the currency as the final destination. They get stuck in the loop, constantly telling themselves, just 5 more levels, just a little more gold, and then I'll finally start living my life. Dungeon solution, true mastery is recognizing that gold and stat points are merely utilities, not the end goal. The right thing to focus on is the progression they unlock. You farm the desert scorpions so you have the strength to cross the threshold into the next beautiful, terrifying zone. You acquire resources solely to fuel your freedom to explore the world. 6. The long revive timer, learning contentedness in the downtime. In Dread mode, getting knocked out introduces a punishingly long revive timer. When you are stuck in that ghost state, you cannot fight, you cannot pick up loot, and you cannot move forward. It forces a complete, mandatory pause on your action. Real-life parallel, life will inevitably drop a massive knockout penalty on you at some point. A sudden injury, a burning creative block, or a massive professional failure can completely bench you, halting all your forward momentum. Your brain panics because you aren't producing or progressing. Dungeon solution, in a squad run, when you are down, you don't rage quit the server. You use that downtime to zoom out, study the boss's attack patterns from a high-angle camera, check your squad's positioning, and recalibrate your strategy for the next pull. The right thing to focus on during a life setback isn't the frustration of being frozen. It's using the silence to figure out exactly how you're going to change your build when you step back up to the plate. Honestly, guys, it really hits you when you look at these game systems, guys. The biggest trap we can fall into right now is trying to build a character that can do absolutely everything, or just farming this gold dungeon forever because it feels safe. If we just hoard points and coins without a purpose, we're completely missing the point of the game. We're sharpening this blade for a reason. We're building this resilience so we can finally march up to those castle gates, face down the tyrant, and see what's on the other side. Let's lock in these final stats and go make something happen. With the philosophy in mind, we are Saber the hero, but also humble. We should not be like Swag, the egomaniac, the anti-hero. No new equipment. Surprisingly, the gear set equipment does not trigger the dungeon completing early. That is good. I wonder why that is. Let us fast forward this run. See you guys then.
Tuna nehri akmam diyor, etrafımı yıkmam diyor.
Tuna nehri akmam diyor, etrafımı yıkmam diyor.
Şanı büyük Osman Paşa, Plevne'den çıkmam diyor.
Şanı büyük Osman Paşa, Plevne'den çıkmam diyor.
Karadeniz bıkmam dedi, ben Tuna'ya bakmam dedi. Bin düşman gelse bile Osman Paşa korkmam dedi.
100.000 düşman gelse bile Osman Paşa korkmam dedi.
Düşman Tuna'yı atladı, karakolları yokladı.
Düşman Tuna'yı atladı, karakolları yokladı.
Osman Paşa'nın kolunda 5000 top birden patladı.
Osman Paşa'nın kolunda 5.000 top birden patladı.
Kılıncını vurdu taşa, taş yarıldı baştan başa.
Kılıncını vurdu taşa, taş yarıldı baştan başa.
Şanı büyük Osman Paşa, askerinle binler yaşa. Şanı büyük Osman Paşa, askerinle binler yaşa.
Olur mu böyle, olur mu? Kardeş kardeşi vurur mu? Olur mu böyle, olur mu? Kardeş kardeşi vurur mu?
Sizi millet hainleri, bu vatan size kalır mı?
Sizi millet hainleri, bu vatan size